本视频耗时2个月，游戏时长300小时录制，总共28分钟，为你解密游戏隐藏剧情，一口气看完野外 NPC 彩蛋内容。在游戏中，我知道大家但凡看到露营者，都会做出这样的举动，但并不是所有的 NPC 都是如此。接下来你所看到的，绝对是你在游戏中没有遇到过的场景。
Well, you seem half normal at least.
Thank you.
Sorry that came out wrong. Just been crazies and creeps through here today. Some days is like that, you know. I know not to judge a book by its cover, but all you can do is just go with your gut, and failing that, go with your gun. It takes a lot to spook me. Probably the worst night I ever spent was in the LeMoyne Bou near St. Denis. And I ain't even got to the good bit yet. I was camping out there probably about 2 years back now, and I heard people talk about these night folk living in the swamps around those parts, like feral, barely human, preying on travelers. But you know, every place has these tales, so you learn not to pay them too much heed. But soon as night fell, it started. Figures in the trees all around me making the most horrible noises, closing in on me. All I could do was keep yelling and firing off shots from my rifle. Dawn has never come slower. And when it did, I hightailed it out of there as fast as I could. Never seen anything like that before or since. Anyways, night ain't here yet, so I probably should get something done around here.
Hey there, miss.
Sit down and rest for a while if you want. Got a bit of a lady's touch here. Nothing like a good fire into the sky, is there? Probably ain't used to finding a woman out here by herself.
Guess so.
Well, believe me, I ain't scared of much. I can shoot, drink, ride, and speak good as any man. Maybe not as good as one woman I know, though. Goes by the name of Black Belle. Like I said, I ain't scared of much, but if she were mad at me, I'd be scared of her. Possibly the best gun in the whole West. Got a price on her head bigger than Landon Ricketts. Been on the run for 20 years or more now. Killed more men than cholera and heartbreak combined. Ah, so you heard of her too, huh? Well, I first met her in Tucson. We drank for 2 days straight. She told me one time she'd be staying in this cabin for a few weeks when she woke up to shouts outside. 4 bounty hunters. Nasty ones. So she calls back, "I ain't coming for your pathetic sons of bitches." Tells them to send some real men instead of little boys. And quickly ducks down into the cellar. Of course, they start shooting the hell out of the place. And every now and again, she yells back at them, and they can't work out how these bullets ain't hitting. This ain't much more than a one-room shack. Quick thinking, right? So in the end, they kick in what's left of the door and barely have time to say, "Where the hell is she?" Before bang, 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 bang! 4 shots from under the floorboards, and they're all dead on the ground. Apparently, she lined up all the bodies and nailed her bounty poster to one of their heads. These days, she's almost a celebrity. Even seen her picture on a cigarette card. Strange how that works. For the longest time, they revile you. But if you're bad enough and survive long enough, they start to revere you. Guess that's America. Well, anyways, I should be getting things fixed up around here.
Thanks. So, you got a girl, mister?
Huh? What's it to you?
Me neither. Got my eye on one, though. I was hunting north of Annesburg when I came across this cabin. And there's no one there but this woman. Bit bony, but beautiful as the day is long. Real elegant, fancy type, too. I see how you like 'em too, friend. Don't know what she's doing out there in the middle of nowhere, but turns out she's a widow. She asked me to leave, but in a real nice way. Made me feel good. I watched her from the bushes for a while, saw her cry. I think this is a place I could really hang my saddle. A hot dinner and warm bed every night. Don't sound bad to me at all. All right, I need to cool down a bit.
Sometimes we must trust each other, even when we don't know each other. Or else we walk this life alone. For all I know, you're a thief and a killer, but I rely on my instincts to tell me otherwise. Yes, I see in your eyes that you're not a bad man. Like I was riding through the Heartlands the other day, and cut through someone's land. Looked like an old pig farm. When a couple called me over from the house. Very nice man and woman. Very friendly. You would think this is fine, que no? And they keep saying that a traveler like me deserves some rest and refreshment, inviting me to stay for dinner. I was tired and I was hungry, but mi corazonada, the feeling in my gut said no. I don't know why, but I trusted it. Then the very next day, a man warns me to stay away from that place. So I live by my instincts. I'm also real fast with a gun, which helps me when the instincts fail me. Well, I've sat long enough. You rest here as long as you need.
You a bounty hunter, mister?
I have been. Why?
No offense, I just know the type. I done some myself a couple years back. Like most things in life, it don't live up to the billing. And my brother, he's dead now, but he used to tell me stories about Red Harlow. Yep, you've probably heard of him. Legendary bounty hunter bringing the savage outlaws of the frontier to justice. A man who watched his parents get murdered in front of him as a boy, but who uses that pain to become a better man and ultimately to wreak his vengeance. I don't know. Bounty hunting never felt like that to me. Nothing heroic about riding for 3 days to turn in some low-down chicken thief. Nothing easy in this life. So I can't sit around all day.
Well, you have to offer a fellow traveler some repose. Something I get from my pa. He always said it was bad luck not to invite a stranger at the door into the house. Got killed in his bed when I was 9 years old, so probably ain't the best superstition to live by, but it's always stuck with me. Yep, and he prayed every day, too. Yep, it's like the town of Valentine. I'm sure you know the place. People there are convinced they're under some curse, that their run of bad luck is punishment for something. Shared a fire out near there with an old fella who told me he think it's the Indians. Right? Stranger things have happened. He said he'd heard years ago about an ancient Indian painting. One of them they did on animal hides that showed a massacre by the settlers. And the rumor was, it was connected with Valentine in some way. He said the painting got torn up and thrown away, but he'd heard some pieces of it still exist. I don't know. We all tell ourselves things to explain what we can't explain. But what we do does come back on us, I reckon. Well, anyway, I should get some work done before my luck turns.
So what brings you to these parts?
Just between towns, looking for work.
Well, I'm glad of the company, if I'm honest. The past 6 months or so, I ain't been around many people. Regular folks, at least. Ain't sure if you heard of a group called the Cheloneans? I guess you could call it a religion. Obsessed with turtles, which maybe should have struck me stranger sooner. I know. You wouldn't believe it. Folk always say I'm too trusting. I mean, I don't know you from Adam, and here you are sitting at my fire. Anyway, I'm more or less handing my life over to them. I met a very persuasive fella in Saint Denis. Anders, his name was. And he caught me at a bad time. Hell of a thing, right? It's that I've been given over to some poor living, real poor living, kind of behavior the devil himself would be ashamed of. They promised me safety, salvation, paradise. All very appealing to a fella like me. Got to the point where I'd given them every cent I had, and I was ready to fall them off a cliff. I just got out in time. Maybe it was the turtles, or maybe it was just I didn't have the spine to go through with it. All seems ridiculous now looking back. But things we'll do for answers, huh? Anyway, sorry to ramble on. I should get back to it.
Wait, you ain't Swedish or Norwegian, are you?
Not to my knowledge.
Just thought there was something about the hair and the eyes. I stopped by this settlement over in Tall Trees the other week. Manzanita Post. Traded some furs for tools. All Nordic types. Real strange. They tripped over themselves to make me welcome. Right, you know what I'm talking about. All handshakes and smiles. The smiles where the eyes don't join in. And there's an old feller sitting there ranting and raving in whatever language it is. Then I walk around the back and see another feller with his head in his hands and a girl crying. There's something real wrong about the place. Just kind of stuck with me. All right. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Do I know you, mister? You kind of look familiar. I get that sometimes. A feeling about a person or a place. I remember I stopped off in the town of Rhodes for a day or two last winter. Soon as I stepped foot in there, I sensed something. A mood. Sadness. Shame. Hard to say for sure, but you could feel it like a mist in the air. You know what I'm talking about, right? And I don't mean the normal kind of sadness in them southern towns. You see the color of my skin? I understand the difference well enough. Something else. I talked to a few folks, and it turns out something real bad did transpire. That's right. You dig beneath the surface a bit. Seems an innocent got killed, and the whole place has the blood on their hands. Now, I didn't get into no details, and they don't like talking about it, but it's quite a thing. Like when you walk into an empty room and immediately either feel laughter or tears. My mama left me for dead as a child, and I've been on my own ever since. Maybe that gives me a different eye for things. I don't hold any pain. Not no more. But I'm sure she carried that around just like them people of Rhodes carries theirs. Well, can't be jawing all day. Things to do.
So, not sure you passed through Armadillo at all. Place like hell on earth these days. Used to be quite a nice little town, too. Now it's just dust storms and disease and death. They taking to burning bodies because they can't bury them fast enough. I mean, when you see it, it really feels like something biblical. And I ain't a religious man. Really, it's a sight to behold. I certainly ain't never read the Bible on account of me not reading and all, but for a place to turn like that, so bad and so fast, you can't help but thinking, this can't be of natural causes. Folk there are calling it a curse. And I ain't a superstitious man, but it's hard not to see it any other way. They're saying this figure appears sometimes there in the distance. Black suit and big top hat, then disappears. Shadowy, like he ain't of this mortal realm. The Reaper and his Sunday best. Maybe they're being punished for sins or something, I don't know. I got enough sins on my tally to figure I'm gonna stay well away from there. And I ain't a betting man, but I'd put my money on this. Way things are, won't be long before Tumbleweed is the only town left in these parts, and there won't be nothing in Armadillo but ghosts. Well, while I still got my health, guess I should get some work done.
Who you? What are you doing here?
Hey, easy, friend. I mean you no harm.
Okay, well, guess you can rest here for a while if you need. Sorry to be so jumpy, but you can't be too careful. A couple weeks back, I was over in Roanoke Ridge and woke up with a knife to my throat. Two real crazy-looking fellas. Talk real crazy, too. One had an eye pretty much where his mouth should be. Other had teeth so crooked I swear he could eat corn through a picket fence. I know. I almost soiled my britches, let me tell you. Had to pinch myself just to check it wasn't a nightmare. Robbed everything I had on me. I mean, they was rifling through my saddlebags, and I just decided to cut and run. They was laughing about cutting me up, and I reckon they would've. Yep, God's honest truth. Fellow over in Van Horn told me they was most likely from the Murfree Brood, gang of hillbilly half-breeds. Now, if they was, I had a real lucky escape. They lived like animals, maybe even worse.
Oh, yeah?
Lots of folks been going missing around there, women and children mostly. And the rumor is they'd take a bite out of you or me ahead of a plate of anything else. Locals won't go near there and the law sure don't. Still see that face looking down at me. Anyway, things to do. Just watch yourself if you're around those parts.
I've been a loner for a long time. Prefer it that way. But my brother wrote to me and asked me if I'd help his family move out west. We hadn't spoken in years. Two very different fellers. But I thought, this is something I can do. Wish I could tell you this had a happy ending. I traveled out to meet them, ride with the wagon train, them and a couple other families, all soft-handed city types. Couple of days in, my brother's irking me something rotten. Asking when I'm gonna settle down, acting like he's better. So, just as we start the climb to cross over the Grizzlies, I bolt and don't look back. And you know what? They got caught in bad weather in the mountains and died. Every single one. Even started eating each other. And I'll always have that one on my conscience. Look, I'm sorry. You need to hear this. I need to keep busy.
I'm sorry. I'm not myself these days. I don't know if you've ever had an obsession in your head. You know, something that takes a hold and won't let go. When I came to this country over 7 years ago now, I heard about this reward. Yes. Now I have your attention, see? A princess from Europe was lost here when she was a child 15 years ago. Her body was never discovered. Her country still has hope and is offering a lot of money to anybody who can bring her in. I've been looking for her ever since, on and off. A man told me to look in the town of Van Horn, so that's where I'm headed now. It's probably nothing again. For a man who lives like me, free and on the move, it's strange. I just can't let it go. But it feels, you know, unfinished. Anyway, I need to take my mind off this.
Been doing some hunting, I see. Rare game's more my thing these days. Any fool can take down a deer or a rabbit, even a bear. I once killed 30 bears in 1 year. And buffalo, I can't even count that high. Yep, God's honest truth. Folk near Saint Denis tell stories of a panther that roams the swamps out there. Fast, ferocious, real elusive. Bit of a legend in those parts. Never been caught. And I figure if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be me. And a pelt like that could keep a feller warm in whiskey for months. But that's a story for another day.
Sure does.
Mm-hmm. Keep telling myself I'll strike a rich one of these days, but that day sure dragging his head. Believe you me. Can't tell you how much time I wasted chasing treasure. Spent a few weeks down around the town of Rhodes recently. Don't know if you ever passed through it, though. Fella told me about these two old plantation families there, how they had the seeds falling out. How one of them had hidden a big old pile of gold somewhere. Mm-hmm. I had a feeling this interests you. I mean, I thought what better way than to find my fortune than on the slaver's filthy dollar. You understand? Not that I expect you to understand that. Thought I was on to something, too. One of they maids has showed me this old carving that said, where the death adder spits. And then I spot this place called Copperhead Landing on my map and put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, I really thought I was on to it. I spent days around there digging up ground from dawn till dusk, but found nothing but an old pair of boots I'm wearing right now. Or maybe that's all the riches a man like me need. Yeah, the land gives all we need and more. The rest of it, well, I'm starting to realize perhaps there's such a thing as easy money for fellas like you and me. Though I can't stop thinking I must have missed something. Anyway, it's done now. Well, thanks for listening. You know, I can't sit around here all day.
The houses there, hate the place. All those people, all that noise, makes me feel like I'm choking. Only went there because there's a feller who pays good money for stuff. Well, he calls it exotic. Egret feathers and the such like don't seem that exotic to me. The things city folk will pay for. On my way through the main square, I see this big statue of General Quincy Harris, a war hero. War hero? My pa fought under him, said he was a coward who sold out his men. He even said there was rumors old Quincy was working for the other side. But of course, none of this will ever be in the history books. I spat on that statue and I left town, and won't be going back there neither.
You're very kind.
So, you new to these parts?
Guess you could say that.
I've been traveling around New Austin for a few years now. Suits me well. Dry, open, about last that's left of the Old West. And I used to be able to pick up regular bits of work here and there in Armadillo or Tumbleweed. Problem now is, Armadillo's in the grip of fever. Time and again, place seems cursed. Only money to be made there is in burning bodies, and I might be a gambling man, but that's not a bet worth taking in my book. I know, it's a terrible business. And gambling's kind of the other issue, or what led to it. Last time I was in Tumbleweed, I settled into a poker game, and one thing led to another, beverages was consumed, and I find myself in something of an embroilment with a couple of fellers. You know how it is when whiskey and money share a table. Next thing you know, the sheriff bursts in. Big black feller, strong as an ox, mean as a viper. Righteous as the angel of the Lord. Slams me into the wall and drags me outside. Sam Freeman, his name is. So I'm on my knees in the middle of town, and he's got a gun to my head, ranting and raving about salvation and justice. And I swear pretty much all I did was call another feller a son of a bitch. For about 10 seconds, I honestly thought he was gonna kill me right there in the street. Crazy bastard. Won't be going back there anytime soon. So with both those towns on my blacklist, I might just have to move on for a while. Maybe try my luck up in Big Valley. Well, anyway, I can't be nattering all day. Things to do.
Got all we need right here, don't we? Free as a bird. Say you know Emerald Ranch? Sure. I picked up some labor there for a couple weeks. If I need a reminder why I live the way I do, that was it. The boss there's the worst kind of bastard. Treats everyone worse than the dirt they work on. Don't care so long as he's getting richer. Yeah, you know the kind I mean. I ain't answering to any man. Least of all a man like that. Strangest thing was I'd see this girl in the house sometimes, but she never came outside. One of the workers told me the rancher was kind of obsessed with his daughter. Rumor was he killed a fellow there who fell in love with her and kept her locked up for now. Don't know what's true or not, only that nobody there seemed very happy. Now, this is the life for me. Well, work won't do itself, I guess.
That's because my best friend, a man I'd known my whole life, betrayed me. And why am I telling you this? Because often the company of strangers is the best kind. The closer we get, the more cruel we become. See, you know it too. I don't know how well you know the town of Annesburg, but they tell a story of three brothers, close as can be, until greed destroyed them. They'd found gold together, but one of them ran off with it all. Now, the three of them lie dead. They say the brother marked the spot when he'd hidden the gold with tree carvings, until he was followed there and shot dead by one of the other brothers. As far as I know, it's never been found. And neither has the body of my best friend.
All right. I guess you can sit a while.
Oh, I sure do appreciate this. You won't even know I'm here. Oh, got myself rightly turned around out here. Is it 2 days or more? Oh, Jerry Ann guzzled up all the chitterlings, so I go out hunting squirrels. Only Esther still got my damn warm britches. And I got poor circulation, even at the best of times. So, November, my feet, they always turn brown. So I glug some shine to keep myself warm. I woke up on a riverbank, shivering like a shitting dog. I get lost real easy. You ever heard of a place called Butcher Creek, mister? Our entire village has been marked by the demon, stealing our bodies and our minds. And we have all been cursed, and ain't nothing we can do but just wait our time. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? Now, I don't know if I like you, mister. You got the same look my uncle has. I'll take my chances. You stay away from me.